11 past 4. The planned expansion of a new coal mine around Oakey Way is a step closer. It's been in operation for over 3 decades and currently employs nearly 300 people. For some time now, New Hope has wanted to expand their operations at the new Acland coal mine to what they call Stage 3. But they're waiting for the state government to approve their mining lease and an associated water licence. On Friday, they had a win in the court. The Supreme Court of Appeal ruled the project did not need to return to the Land Court. Just 2 weeks ago, you may recall, the mining company announced it would have to sack half its workforce and, in fact, did it in staff putting people off. The fate of Stage 3 now lies in the hands of Mines Minister Anthony Lynham, and the company is meeting him tomorrow. Andrew Boyd is the Chief Operating Officer for the New Hope Group. Andrew Boyd, you had a Court of Appeal win last week. How are you interpreting that judgment on Friday?
Steve, that's the company's extremely happy with the outcome from Friday. I think it vindicates our position with regards to Occa's appeal. We won that appeal on all counts, and the decision on Friday was effectively setting the orders that go along with that decision. So we won the case, and we've now got the orders that we were seeking from the court. So we see it as extremely positive.
What were you seeking, Andrew?
We were seeking basically a recognition from the court that the project could move forward from here, validation of the Environmental Authority and the remitted Land Court recommendation that the project should proceed. We were seeking those things to be kept in place and the project to move forward. Our opponents were seeking the approval to be taken right back to the start of the Land Court process. Thankfully, we're not there, and we.
So that would have started the whole 10-year process all over again.
Well, it at least, our original Land Court hearing commenced at the start of, going back in time now, but 2015 was the original commencement of the Land Court process. Okay. So it's been it's a 4-year journey to get to this point. And we're just really pleased that we don't have to go back to the Land Court, that the decisions that have been made post the Land Court will stand, and it's now back on the state government to approve the project.
Now, the belief was that once this key court decision was released, that would give clarity for all parties as to what would happen next. Have you had a meeting with the state government yet?
No, we haven't as yet, Steve. We were seeking a meeting for today. We have a meeting scheduled with various representatives of the government tomorrow, and we're hopeful that we'll get some clarity of their position at that point.
What do you want from them tomorrow?
Well, we're looking for the approvals that have been effectively withheld pending the outcome of the Court of Appeal, which are the mining lease, the grant of an associated water licence, and some amendments to our continued use of the John Darien coal loading facility. We're seeking those approvals as quickly as possible, and we don't see any reason as to why they can't be approved as quickly as possible.
The state government has always told us that crunch time is November. We're in November, and you're having a meeting with them tomorrow. If you don't come out with a go-ahead tomorrow, what will that mean for the company?
Well, look, unfortunately, we have had to effectively halve our workforce out at New Acland. There were about 150 roles that were made redundant. Those people have finished, and it's unfortunate that we couldn't get the approvals in time to prevent that happening. So we're now running a smaller workforce. We have a limited amount of coal remaining in the operation. We have
How much coal is left? Once this coal runs out, roughly when will it run out?
We've got about 12 months, really to the end of next calendar year, until such time as there'll be no more activity at New Acland without Stage 3 being approved.
Okay, and if Stage 3 is approved by the state government either tomorrow or in the near future, how much longer could the mine continue, or would the mine continue?
Oh, look, that approval gives us about another 15 years on our life, so a significant length of time.
All right. Do you want it to go ahead?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Would you re-employ people who've been dismissed if it does get approval?
Yeah, look, we have, it's been regrettable that we've had to downsize our workforce. We lost some really good people with some great skills and, quite a number of people that have been with the business for over 20 years. When we have the ability to ramp up the operation again, we will absolutely be looking to bring, many of those people back, recognising that a lot of them are also moving on with their lives and they're getting employment elsewhere.
My guest is Andrew Boyd. Andrew Boyd is the Chief Operating Officer for the New Hope Group. They're the parent company that owns or runs the Acland coal mine near Oakley, looking to get it to Acland Stage 3, as it's known. The Oakey Coal Action Alliance Secretary Paul King has described the court's decision as bad news for farmers, and he's calling on the state government to knock back the approval. What do you have to say to Mr. King and others in the area who are concerned about any approval for your mine to continue operating?
Look, we have overwhelming support in the community, in the Oakey community and surrounding communities for the project to proceed. Mr. King claims to represent the rural community around the mine, and the simple fact is he doesn't. We have many more supporters. Would it be fair to say the community's divided? Oh, look, there are differing views in the community, but I think the work that we've done has indicated that there's many more supporters than there are detractors. So that's the first point I'd like to make. I think the second point is, we've done an enormous amount of work on understanding any potential impacts on surrounding residents. We've been operating a mine out there for 15 years, and in that time, no farmers have gone without bore water as a result of the New Acland operation. We've done an enormous amount of work that's been peer-reviewed. We've had the CSIRO, we've had other experts review our water modelling, and we're very confident that, to the extent that there are any local impacts, those impacts can be mitigated, and we're extremely confident with the science that goes behind our groundwater modelling. The Paul King and the Oakey Coal Action Alliance have also asked the state government to not make a final decision on your request whilst you're being investigated by the Department of Environment and Science in relation to allegation of illegal mining at Stage 2. Are you illegal mining in Stage 2? No, we're not. No, we're not, Steve. We had some inquiries from the Department of Environment and Science earlier this year about specific areas that we were operating in. We've responded to them with all the information they requested. We've not heard back from them for, I think it was March we made that response. But we're very confident that we're operating within our approvals. We're operating in accordance with our plan of operations, and we'll continue to do so. What will be the impact of Stage 3 if you get the final go-ahead from the state government? Look, there are huge impacts. We had some economic modelling done by Ernst & Young a couple of years ago, which indicated that there was a net $7 billion positive impact from Stage 3. Now, that goes from, obviously the economic benefits to New Hope, the employment benefits, the benefits to local suppliers, the benefits through to the Port of Brisbane and the whole supply chain. So they're really large. And you'll be strip mining through the little township of Acland, including through Alan Jones's old classroom. No, I believe. No, that's not right. Not right? No, the original New Acland application, Stage 3 application from 12 years ago, had the Acland township been mined out. When the application was amended in about 2013 or 14, that area is now not included in the mining footprint. So the township of Acland remains, and there were a number of other changes to the mine plan back then. But no, Acland will stay. So that you'll strip mine around the little township area? Yeah, the closest that we get to New Acland under the new mine plan is 1 kilometre from town. All right. Do you believe, or does your company believe, there'll be more legal challenges from either the Oakey Coal Action Alliance or other farmers or interested people in the area? Look, I think it's almost inevitable that the Oakey Coal Action Alliance will continue to try to find ways to delay our project and to challenge our project wherever they can. Now, even though they've had, 3 significant losses legally, even though, the government has done an enormous amount of reviews on our approvals, that won't stop the Oakey Coal Action Alliance from trying to delay and defer the project. So we expect further challenges. We don't believe they'll be successful. And we suggest that, as the Oakey Coal Action Alliance has said to us previously, they should abide by the umpire's decision and move on. This is ABC Radio Brisbane. My name's Steve Austin. My guest is Andrew Boyd. Andrew is the Chief Operating Officer at the New Hope Group. They're the parent company that runs the Acland
coal mine, looking to get approval to Acland Stage 3. You're an Australian company. And as far as I know, most of the other controversial mining projects in Queensland are largely involved foreign-owned companies. Why do you think an Australian company has met with such opposition when it's employing Australian people and pays taxes in Australia?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure, Steve. We are Australian-owned predominantly. We're an Australian-listed, ASX-listed company.
And you do pay tax here, don't you?
We pay an enormous amount of tax, yes, both state and federal.
You don't have a tax haven domiciled in the Cayman Islands or anything?
No, everything's done through Australia. New Hope's been mining coal in the Ipswich region and the Oakey region since 1952. So we are a long-standing participant in the mining community in Queensland. We're very proud of that history. And we want to continue that for many years to come. So, our ownership is predominantly Australian. We're domiciled here. We employ people in Australia, and our profits go back to Australia.
What sort of coal is it? In other words, who are you selling it to?
It's thermal coal, so it's all used for either power generation or other industrial applications. The majority of our coal, currently over the last few years, we've produced about 5 million tonnes a year. The vast majority of that goes overseas to Asia for power generation, so Japan, Taiwan, Korea and other countries in Asia. We have a small amount of coal, about 150,000 tonnes a year, which actually goes to domestic users here in southeast Queensland. So paper producers, abattoirs, a hospital up the road, a range of smaller users that use our coal for steam generation and other industrial applications. So we've got a lot of customers, and particularly those domestic customers. They really don't have alternative sources. We've been talking to them, and many of those customers have told us if they don't have access to New Acland coal, they're likely to have to look to gas for their energy source at a significant cost increase to what they pay us for the coal.
Do you expect to get approval from the state government tomorrow to go ahead with Stage 3?
Look, I'm not sure if I expect it tomorrow, but I expect to have a constructive conversation with government and expect to get some clarity on their thinking and their timeframes to grant the approvals.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Steve.
Andrew Boyd is the Chief Operating Officer of the New Hope Group. We did contact Minister Anthony Lynham for comment. We were provided with the following statement. It is one line. The state government is considering the decision by the Court of Appeal.